Hi, I'm Nick. Today I'm going to tell you a story about a guy who beat a girl away from his friend and then saved her from domestic violence, but it happened. I'll tell you what happened. In 2008, I went to an old acquaintance to drink a beer. At his home was his wife, Amelie. Having had a lot of beer, later of course there was not only beer, my acquaintance passed out to sleep. We, with his wife, continued the feast, and after some time, without realizing it, between us there was a spark, and since the husband is asleep, we, voor principe then, nothing, and did not interfere. We slept together. 2 to 3 weeks later, I texted her, "Hi, how are you? Can we get together?" She agreed, and we, having children, she has a 4-year-old son and I have a 5-year-old from my first marriage, taking them with me, went to the park for a walk. There I heard Amelie's unrealistically cruel fate. Her husband is a tyrant, beats, humiliates, does not see sex for months, drinks like hell, does not give money, etc. Well, as they say, another man's family is a dark place. She's the wife, what can I do? She's the one who needs to do something. We met for about a year, and suddenly I get a call from someone else's number, but I missed it. Calling back, I was told, "It's traumatology." Then the girl was brought unconscious. Waking up, she asked to call, did not get through, and went home. After asking about the girl, I realized it was Amelie. I dropped everything and went to her house. Private sector, no one opens the gate, in the yard, mutt barking. I gave up on everything. I climbed over the fence, shooed the mutt away, went into her house. It's her parents' house and she came to visit them. Surprised looks of my father and mother, and from behind the curtain is she, all beaten, bruised, broken nose. Horror. Taking the will in a fist, I strongly, with an increase in voice, expressed everything that I think about her husband, and, literally, hitting the table with my fist, demanded from her parents not to let her go to that ugly man, and she ordered, "The bruises will come off. Immediately go and file for divorce. After that, you become mine." 2 months passed, she got divorced. After that, after talking to her parents about her again, my future father-in-law, having found out that I don't have a place of my own, gave me an offer. "Here's an unfinished house. If you have serious intentions, take your daughter and build your own house. Why should you, uncle, give for rent, if you can spend it to improve your home?" So we agreed. I moved to live with her and we began to live a civil marriage. In the first year I made this unfinished house. The broken house was just covered with bricks and everything. Fully fit for habitation with all the amenities, conducted water, made heating, internal repairs, purchased appliances. Amelie did not work anywhere, sat with her son at home. Since I had already fallen in love, I made an offer, I got her consent, and in 2010 we got married. In 2011, when I found out we were going to have a daughter, I pushed myself and improved our house by adding a second floor. Fully habitable 2 large rooms turned out. In December 2011, a beautiful daughter was born. I was earning good money. We repeatedly went abroad to vacation, much bought for his Amelie, well within reason. Money was not that much, but there was enough for gold jewelry and turkey. It so happened that in 2017, with the mutual consent of both parties, we divorced. It was necessary. This is a long and separate topic, which has nothing to do with this problem. But we continued to live together, me, Amelie, her son, and our daughter. In 2019, Amelie buys our house from her father with the money she had set aside and makes it into a joint ownership for 3 people, her daughter, and her son. I didn't know anything about it. Then she said, "Well, I did. I thought it was not so important information for you, so I did not tell you. At least our kids have their own place." Well, I have an apartment. My old mom lives in it, and my sister and her daughter. I own half of the apartment. In 2020, my soulmate began to mope. "I'm sick of this life. I can no longer sit at home. I want to work." Her brother-in-law worked as a security guard at a private security company. He pulled her there and pulled her. They say you sit, do nothing, and what any kopeck pay. Naturally, it was the first call, which I did not hear, to let my wife work at some object with a mode 22. Everything continued normally, except that from 2019 onwards I stopped earning a lot. We didn't starve, but we didn't have enough for turkey. And here, starting in April 2023, 15 years of life together, I began to notice that my angel began to behave differently. As something cold from her began to pull, intimacy disappeared. I'm always ready, and she referred, then to fatigue, then on the alleged myoma, etc. Often began to notice her with the phone, long conversations with someone. I began to worry and bring her to a serious conversation. What's wrong? Do you have someone else? She refuses. Why do you say that? Just I'm tired. She what? Thought she would go to work and she will be relieved of domestic obligations? Laundry, cooking, cleaning, raising the kids? I believed her, I think. Well, I'll wait some more time. The summer's approaching. Maybe we'll go to the sea after all. In May, as if out of the blue, my father-in-law dies suddenly. She even more closed, does not let me near her at all. Again, I reborrowed money, buried my father-in-law properly. After the wake, she had a big wake for her father. About 2 a.m. already, walking around the house, staggering around, expressing herself, etc. I said to her, "My little girl, go to bed. It's late." To what I received from her first clarification, "Who?" I to her, "Baby." She, "Whose?" I, "Mine." And then I received the first stab in the back. She, "It's not yours." I got her to bed, but that phrase stuck in my brain. Anyway, I didn't fall asleep, and at 7 out I went to work. In the evening, coming home from work, having not slept for more than 40 hours, I, already passing out, began to talk to her. By this time she had already moved away from the wake. She said that everything is normal. It was a phrase she herself did not understand. She does not remember anything and never mind. Everything is fine. It's just in a drunken frenzy, she blabbed. I, already falling asleep, felt her stroking my head, gently so, pleasantly. I realize now, she was saying goodbye to me. A couple more weeks passed. I took her out of town and started talking. "What's going on? You're not what you used to be. Do you have a boyfriend? We're adults. Tell me the truth. Don't lie to me and my feelings." To which she said, "You just don't understand how hard it is for me right now, do you? I'm depressed. I buried my father. I'm empty inside. I don't have time for love right now." I bluntly asked, "Do you want to lose your family?" She, "No, I don't want to lose my family, just be patient." July 2nd, 2023, in the evening, she and I hug, kiss, I bring her another paycheck. Everything is normal. At night, she sleeps. I secretly connected to her WhatsApp. Immediately relieved. No correspondence. Besides our contacts, me, son, daughter, her mother, her brother, and a couple of work contacts, nothing. All chats are empty. In the morning, she leaves for work, I 3/07/2023. In the afternoon, still saw correspondence with one of the contacts. "Good morning, my boy." In reply, "Good morning, my favorite." She said, "I love you so much." Him, "And I love you too." A couple hours later, she said, "I forgot my panties." My eyes went black. I sat down and started whining. After a while, after realizing everything, I silently gathered my things and left the house. In parting, I told my daughter that I loved her very much and was always ready to do anything for her. But since then, I have been blocked in all phones and chats. There is no communication, neither with my wife nor with my daughter. 15 years of godless love, she crossed out with an affair at work. As, having talked to her brother, she allegedly said that she fell in love. I am not a drinker. For 15 years, not even once looked on the left. All to a penny in the house, in the family. Supported the family, took and raised her son from her first marriage. It so happened that after the divorce that her first husband, not a penny, did not pay alimony. All 15 years unselfishly contained her son, by the way, and to my son, at first still like that, and then turned Amelie away from him. They say not mine and all. And also her son at 17 years old got a lifelong disease, diabetes. Sits kid on the needle, I was always looking for and bought him needles for syringes, test strips. In general, all did for the family. And now I have lost everything, 2-story house, farmstead with 8 planted trees, my favorite wife and daughter. Now a month has passed. I see no sense in life. I continue to live, but you just can't imagine how hard it is, how hurtful and how mean what she did. For at least 3 months she lived on 2 fronts. I pulled money from me and asked not to pester, to be patient. And therein love played, corresponded, and erased chat so that no one saw. I'm 49, she's 42. In July she has a birthday. I looked for a gold necklace for her birthday. Also, found a trip to the sea for 10 days with the whole family. At least it did not have time to write in debt. As her brother said, "That man is even more than me, he's over 50 years old." I don't know why she was attracted to him. I have a family death on 07/3/2023. That's my mourning period. Still, no contact with my daughter. I don't know why my daughter won't talk to me. There must be something in her ears, and I'm just slowly dying. My soul hurts and my heart cries. A story about a drunk man who cheated on his wife with a prostitute. Let's get to the story. My husband and I were married in 2020 and I was pregnant at the 2nd month. He was the one who initiated the conception of the child, and I was 25 years old, and I really wanted to have a family with children and a husband. I gave birth to a daughter in 2021, and then in 2022, I gave birth to a son. My life changed with the first child. There was a lot of anxiety and other things. My husband was very attentive to me and the child. Then began quarrels on trifles. My husband did not understand my fatigue as moral and physical. Then when my daughter was 10 months old, he admitted that he had debts of more than $15,000. It turned out that he bet bets and took loans, as bets puts, and to this day. After his admission scandals became more scandals, sold the car, and the debt decreased by 40%, already can live without damage. Then the husband began at any scandal to leave the house and not be a couple of days. We periodically began to distance themselves from each other. I, not to be nervous, just engaged in the child and the house, and he drank and drinks beer every day, not less than 3 liters. Then I got pregnant with my son and my husband said that he was against abortion. Yes, and I wanted a son, and suddenly God would not give it to me anymore. I felt that I would have a son. My husband assured me that we would manage together and everything would be fine. During the pregnancy, he could also leave the house and not spend the night. I was alone, pregnant with a 1-year-old child. It happened more than once. Then I gave birth. My husband could leave me alone with 2 children even when they got sick in December. It was very scary to be alone with a 1-year-old daughter and 2-month-old son. As I was afraid for my children, I asked him to come back and asked him to start all over again. Then every month there were different situations that he changed our relationship. I found a correspondence where he wrote to someone that he wanted to have sex in the car, and she invited him to her place. But I guess God sees everything. He didn't make it. The police caught him drunk and revoked his license. Afterwards, he claimed it wasn't for himself. He arranged to have sex with a buddy. I was packing. He asked me not to leave and that he would stop drinking. Then in April, I found in his phone a trip at night to some sauna. He was at work in another city for 2 days. On the question, "What is it?" and "Why did you go?" the answer was the dumbest like. I went to a friend. Then my husband changed the password on his phone and I could not go there. I went there because we had nothing to do. Since I was already leaving home, then intimate life went to 0. And from his side of the initiative, 0. I got suspicious and then in July I found a text message. It was on March 8 at night from some man content format. As a Southerner, for a prostitute writes that he broke her leg and that pay money for the operation and in the form payment for $5,000. I found out from my sister, she is a police officer, that there is prostitution in this sauna. On my questions, my husband first ran away from home for a few days, then came back a week, made up versions, and then so broke up, he got drunk and went somewhere again at night. He came home, but not because he wanted to make up, but because he failed to call a car apparently. I went to his phone and saw that he called prostitutes, and in the cab application just wrongly entered the address and the cab did not come there. So I said to him calmly in the morning, "I saw everything. You can't cheat me anymore." The reaction was furious. He broke my phone, hit me more than once, and thank God his mother came and took him away. So I packed everything and left with 2 kids. Daughter 2 years old and son 9 months. Went to live with my mom. Before the marriage bought an apartment, one piece, it is still empty. It's been a week, he did not even ask me to apologize or explain his actions. And I naively seem to expect that he cannot live without us. I am at a complete loss to me and scared of one side and the other children will grow up without a full family. They are so small that my condition does not give the opportunity to enjoy these days of babies. My world is destroyed in my head, different thoughts. Tell me what to do, how to live on. Yeah, these are the stories we heard today. Write your opinion in the comments and thank you for watching it to the end. Bye, everybody.